to the left of screen here. And Buckley gets the first kick of the match, and Abraham takes it between halfback and centre wing. Very good crowd here, as you'd expect. Must be around about 60 to 65,000. We'll have a big crowd also at Waverley Park today for the other match between St Kilda and Richmond, and we'll give you a wrap of that game throughout the day. Alex McDonald, it's great to have you with us, Alex.
Thanks, Bruce.
What are your thoughts on Collingwood's chances today and the way they approach it?
Yes, I think we match up very well with North Melbourne. We have in the past. I think it's obviously going to be a clash of the midfields, and hopefully we can get first use and give our forwards a good opportunity today.
Harvey's kick to the front of the goal square. Brown and Carey. Brown probably got a high one, but he rode it well and then kicks it beautifully to Krasiska. They're on the run here. Russell's inside. Krasiska's kick towards the centre. Abraham tried to cut it off. Good collision there. Play on the call from the umpire. Correct choice. Roberts almost into the action. Archer belts the ball away. He's looking out wide towards the boundary line. And a shoal there. And alongside of shoal was Ben Kinnear. It'll be a boundary throw-in. Boundary throw-in at centre wing.
Overcast, still day, as we predicted. Hewitt on the ball. Now he backs away. Longmire. Longhorst run it down cleverly. Krasiska through the wing. Coming to meet the bouncing ball. Collingwood in number. Liddell went down. It's Bills wide of the pack. Stevens off the deck. Krasiska at close quarters. Sold Buckley into trouble. That's holding it, Johnny.
Yeah, incorrect disposal. You can't handball the ball if one arm's pinned, and that's exactly what happened on that occasion.
Harvey's away. Promising youngster inside the 50. Monkhorst uncontested. Carey pleads his case, nothing doing. Monkhorst keen to make a point this afternoon, I fancy. Williams from half back just slips away. Drives it long towards centre half forward. Liddell could have been pushed in the back there. Rocker cleverly across to Francis hurriedly. It floats down towards full forward. Sort that out, John Russo. Ball live in the square, close to the line. Across the line, off hands, behind.
Well, I know lots of people will disagree, but I think it was probably a free kick to Mickey Martin against Sav Rocker. It looked as though Sav was doing all the holding as we... it was prior to that. Yeah, prior to that, the marking contest was the one we were talking about.
And obviously, Watson pretty confident that he'd had last touch of the footy with his boot. He's been picked up by Glenn Archer, and Watson playing up in the half-forward line.
Terrible kick by King and Patterson. Misses. Left foot. Francis asking why he didn't handball to him. But it's a wobbly old kick by David King. Finally found its way to Stephen Patterson, who's got a different role, really, this year. Less goals. Playing in a different position at Collingwood, but he's had a good season. King gets the ball well outside 50. Archer takes a trademark mark as he goes on and pushes the ball to centre wing. Couldn't get it through. Collingwood there. Carey's little handball was okay. Wild over the top. Rock with him. Still Wild. Handball away. Russell. Little kick. Gets it back towards Patterson in the centre. Tony Francis on his 4th game for the season. Back to Krasiska. Krasiska's kicked the half forward. Archer onto it in a hurry. Started well. Stevens has got it at centre wing.
Stevens, nicely done, comes away. Sends it high down towards centre half forward. Longmire through his fingertips. This is Welsh, met by Wild. Well done. Brown quickly away. Williams released, running towards centre half forward. He can kick it a long way. Going back is Martin. Rocker blocking his path. And through it goes for a minor score.
Interesting match up at fullback. Gavin Brown, as we have a look at the Pies bench, Gavin Brown's picking up Longmire. He won that ball very well across the half-back line. And then he gave it off to Paul Williams, who we saw in full flight. And he's the one player, I think, at Collingwood, one of their stars. It's still got a long way to go before he reaches his very best this season.
Pickett stretching, takes the mark up from the back pocket. Kicks play around the outer side. Abraham, well done.
Key match up in the middle, of course. John Blakey, one of the stalwarts of North Melbourne, on Nathan Buckley.
Winston away, shocking effort with the kick. Grant taken high, no free kick, ducked into it, says the umpire, ball up.
I don't think he saw the high contact at all, rather than adjudicated that he ducked.
I think Abraham's hurt his ankle there. Sorry to talk over you, because he kicked the ground when he kicked the ball there. He's just gone for the trainer.
Should have been a free.
Yeah, Shannon Grant certainly letting him know too.
Blakey off his step. It floats down towards the pocket. Carey. I think it was Longmire doing the pushing. And out of bounds in the pocket. Abraham with a bit of a limp up. And Collingwood lead it by 3 points.
AFL official website .com.au will be updated every 20 seconds, this match and the match at Waverley today. Harvey off the ground. Russell did very well because they had a bit on it. Brown, Moncourse under pressure. The tackle from Carey, was it too high? Advantage is now paid. Krasiska on his right side, the left, lovely neat kick, as he so often does, to Watson at half-back. Watson, a goal kicker this season, except for the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's a good mark, Liddell. A stretch and a mark at centre wing in front of David King.
And this will be an interesting matchup because Chad Liddell, defence is not his strong point. He's on against on one of the best rebounders in the competition, David King.
Well read there by Fuller. Centering kick's a beauty. And Watson's covered a bit of ground here, hasn't he? Because he took the mark from Krasiska at half-back and has been able to get right down to full forward and take the mark. No goals in his last 2 matches, Watson, and he missed round 9 in between. But prior to that, had kicked 15 goals in 7 matches this year. So he is going at better than 2 goals a match. Started his career as very much a forward, and really should get Collingwood's first goal on the board. They've had some chances. He's kicked it, and he's got it. So the Magpies doing all the attacking here in the early stages of this big Monday game at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
They've been impressive in the opening 5 minutes or so, Collingwood. They've attacked down the middle of the ground. They've attacked with purpose, and they look a side that believe in themselves and believe they can topple off one of the premiership favourites in North Melbourne. And I guess the key to North Melbourne is whether or not they have recovered from their flat spell of last week.
Magpies lead it by 9 points. Buckley over the top. Stevens in the opposite direction. Hurriedly by Krasiska. Floats it inside the 50. King goes back. Walker did brilliantly. Liddell off his step. Should have done better. The goals were beckoning. North bench. Limbering up. King to bring it in. Kickoffs have been under some duress so far from North. Waiting for a coaching genius to come along and find something better. Very inexact science this at the moment. King goes outside the 50. In front, Roberts. Krasiska took it off him, but Roberts will be paid the mark in front.
And the science, Dennis, has, despite being inexact, has come a hell of a long way from the days when it was just a long bomb to the ruckman.
Bell around the outer side. Carey. Carey on the wing then. Goes for distance towards the attacking 50. Welsham from the side almost. Kinnear knocked it out. Eventually Longmire to Grant. Grant from about 49 metres. Vacant goal square. It bounces across the face and goes out of bounds in front of Scotty Russell. Right full forward for North Melbourne.
Tony Shaw on the phone. He's reasonably happy, but they've had chances, Collingwood, to be 3 in front. Liddell's miss was an important one. 5 scoring shots to 0 at this stage. North deep in attack. Longmire and Moncourse. Came off Moncourse very quickly though. Harvey, that was too fast. His pace was the factor there, wasn't he? He was able to accelerate to the footy, and North against the flow here basically level the match up at 1 goal to 1 forward.
Very talented player, young Harvey. We saw him kick a bag full of goals early in the season. I think it was in Adelaide he got 5.
Yep.
And he really won that game off his own boot against Port Adelaide in terrible weather. But a good start against Wild and a good matchup at the moment.
Brent Harvey coming off 22 possessions last week. Bounce back in the middle. Collingwood by 4 points. Francis claimed immediately by Rock. Another ball up.
Dennis, Evan Hewitt looks a real star. He's from Western Australia. You would have seen him develop, but he has come into league football as a potential superstar.
Needs to fire this afternoon. He's lacking support. Russell across the body. Pickett best placed. Clever mark. Both sides feeling the other out. King to Archer. Peels off half back. High kick down towards left half forward. Welsh outmanoeuvred there by Osborne. needs to keep it in. He does. Osborne looping hand pass, releases Patterson. Patterson enjoying a good season, taking a while. He's on the wing, kicks it down towards half forward. Stevens getting in behind the pack. Up comes Martin, the hand pass to Rock, claimed by Francis. In goes Fuller, gets it across to Russell. Russell inside the 50. Rocker bounced off his chest. Anthony goes looking for it. McCartney soccers it into the oncoming Scholl. Scholl in desperation gets it across to Roberts. Roberts kicks towards midfield. Plenty of Collingwood players there. Richardson comes through, throws it on the boot, back towards half forward once more. Taken by Williams, turns. Pickett did brilliantly, smothered the kick. It comes across to Russell, and Russell finds Fuller about 45 metres out. Well, hot ball.
Great passage of AFL football, wasn't it? Good attacking stuff, but the defence was as good, and it was only really a rebound after a smother that has created this other opportunity for Collingwood. A great attempted spoil by, and a successful one, by Jason McCartney against Anthony Rocker. It was a pinpoint pass, and he was just good enough to get a hand in.
Pretty straightforward. It's good.
And Dennis Pagan has responded. I think they look a little bit undermanned somewhat in the middle of the ground. Collingwood are just looking a little bit sharper, perhaps. And he's brought Chandler onto the ground. Anthony Rock has suffered at the hands of the coach, and he's on the bench. Now, that was a pretty good smother, and unfortunately, talking of inexact sciences, that is one that rebounded to the favour of Collingwood. Good result for them.
A goal or two for Peter McKenna.
Yes, Bruce, Winston Abraham's been moved up to the forward pocket now. He might be carrying a bit of an injury, but I suspect they also need his cleverness around goal.
Thanks, Macca, who's in the stand looking at the forward play today. Buckley and Harvey there.
Dennis Pagan has sent Mark Roberts, the fridge, to sit just in front of the two key forwards for Collingwood.
Now Grant going back with Krasiska too, Jared, as Krasiska goes forward for the Magpies to give them more numbers. Bell tried to get it away after the Moncourse tap out. Stevens has been running with Francis early too, hasn't he? And out of the centre square, which has been important.
He has started with Francis, and I think they've made a change, and he's now running with Williams. But those two gentlemen may be interchanging with each other.
Monkey belts it forward, got it forward about 25 metres. Pickett's had a good start. Wild there, over the top of the footy. Little handball out by the Maggies, didn't go very far. That came from Kinnear. Welsh off the ground, out wide as the sun breaks through here. Osborne and Welsh, some experience here with Richard Osborne. What a remarkable player he is. Still going strong in a half-back flank after all these years and the injuries that he's had. 16-6 here. From Footscray and a lot of other clubs before that, Richard Osborne. Kinnear just gave it up to his teammate. Moncourse, Chandler trying to get his first effective touch. And again, it's going to be a ball up. Great crowd. It's built since the opening bounce. Probably around about 70,000, 65 to 70. On what's a good day. Hayden Kennedy, Greg Scroop and Darren McCauley are the umpires today. Must be a real thrill for them to have Queen's birthday Monday at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It's one to remember. Moncourse belts forward towards Russell. Free kick.
Held without the footy, Bruce.
Chandler's going to get it between centre wing and half back.
Off the bench, into the action. Brett Chandler. Down towards half forward goes the kick. Hewitt was up. Moncourse does pretty well in a tight situation. Richardson away. Osborne now. Osborne to Patterson. Runners outside. Krasiska alongside the centre circle. Down towards the 50. Anthony Rocker used his head. Still he goes. McCartney is there. Rocker gets by Pickett. Goes for his brother. No, his brother's not down there. Liddell's the target. We're about 20 metres out from Collingwood's attacking goal, and it's tied up. Well, I thought it must have been the brother simply because he short passed the ball when perhaps he could have gone long at goal. Bounce, 25 metres out. Umpire Kennedy puts it down. Rocker stumbles out of the pack. Roberts towards the boundary line. Buckley leads in the race. It's out. And Collingwood leads in the game by 10 points.
To change bench. Matthew Francis, they go through a stretching procedure. Very cold here today, despite the sun being out now. That'll help warm up a little, but you'd want to keep warm on the interchange when you're ready to come on. Bell, quick kick, good tap by Roberts. Still between half-back and centre wing. They're having a real trouble here. North actually breaking this barrier. Collingwood's been able to keep the ball in their forward line for much of this opening term. Wild out wide and a boundary throw in at half-forward right.
We've seen a lot of games in recent times where the man-on-man aspect of midfield play has, I guess, taken a backward step to positional play and taking a role in a zone. But today we've got half a dozen dead-set matchups.
Bell's little give was good. Roberts getting a few touches, important. His first game for the season. Back to centre wing. Monkey got up high. Beautifully read by Welsh. Welsh away. Kicks to Abraham. Big fly from him. Brown read it pretty well at the back. He's got a bit of space here, Brown, and he can deliver, and he has to Watson. Archer won't make it. Watson has got it in the defensive 50 for the second time today. Has kicked a goal for the Maggies. Good kick. Look at this space for Patterson. He's had a bit of space a couple of times today. A second bounce. He's teasing. He's gone. He's holding it. Well, he just went too far, didn't he?
What about the chase? He came from about 70 metres away, Evan Hewitt, to run him down, and that is just what wins are made of.
Hewitt's kick back to half-forward. Kerry a couple of times today hasn't been able to keep his footing, I should say, and Richardson just lays it up. This will be interesting. Longmire's going to run hard. It comes away. Harvey couldn't quite. Longmire's got hold of it now.
To Archer. Archer inside the 50. Carey. Well worked. 50-50 ball. Longmire did best. And Carey going to play the finish right here.
Yes, it was actually the John Longmire, Damien Monkhorst attack on the footy that decided this piece of play, this passage of play.
Sorry, I was glad it's not half-time and the scores are level and Kerry's having a shot from about 45. I'd be very, very nervous. Good luck.
Randy was offline yesterday. Don't worry about it. Here's Carey from right on the 50. Straight through the middle. Marvellous kick.
We will look forward to just before half-time. These things do have a habit of coming back to haunt you, don't they?
Don't you know all about it?
It was straight after I wrapped him yesterday. He went bad, didn't he?
Yes, I'd like to know which player you're going to give a bit of a bump up to early so I can get on the opposition.
I may test Carey. See how good he really is.
Yes, he did put the mocker on Chris Grant yesterday, and he did respond by kicking, I think it was 4 straight behinds. But a good goal to North.
But a goal against the flow, wasn't it? As the first one really was. So Collingwood making the running here, but North very, very close. Russell's kicked to centre half-forward, free kick against King.
And Damien Monkhorst has a real advantage in the middle of the ground because it's slippery, and Evan Hewitt just cannot get to enough purchase on the ground to use his big spring.
Liddell to the pocket to Rocker. He's got him. There's a positive lead. It is wide and far, but Liddell kicked to the space. And Sav will go through his routine here. Marks a couple of spots. Dennis Pagan, I think he walks in 6 steps and then jogs the last 4 and kicks the footy. Lee Matthews went through it on Talking Footy last Monday night. So Liddell pushing the ball wide to the spot, and Rocker sets himself up for what's an important kick. It could set a trend for him today. First attempt, it'll be a good kick to kick the goal. Goes for it. It's a good kick. He likes it. It's a goal. A beauty. That's the start. Peter McKenna, who's high in the stand, that's what the really good full forwards can do. From the pocket, first chance for the day, and put it through.
Yes, Bruce, you're dead right. It's the confidence factor of it. He's playing on a tough opponent. Kicks won't be easy to come by against Mickey Martin. It's very important you get one early. He's been running through that routine for ages now with David Whedon, who took a lot of the Essendon guys through the same routine, Bruce.
Good on you, Mac, as Rocker gets the first for Collingwood.
And good play by Chad Liddell also. He's had a couple of important kicks in his first term. One of them should have been a goal.
Sav Rocker, 41 goals for this season. Monkhorst decisively down to Russell, doing so well in the centre square at the moment. The Magpies towards half forward. Roberts dragged down, swooping on it. Williams into the path of Francis. Francis 25 metres out, not normally a goal kicker. And he hasn't kicked this one. Golden opportunity there. They've missed a couple. Alex would be delighted with his start, so much of the ball and doing so well in the centre square.
Yes, Dennis, it's very important, though, I think, that we finish off those opportunities we get in front of goals at this stage.
No doubt about that. Francis, terrific opportunity. Earlier, Liddell. Sav Rocker, though, from a very sharp angle, getting their last goal.
King out wide towards the boundary, and it's going to be a free kick to North Melbourne.
Signal for over the shoulder, Bruce, and obviously not deemed to be coincidental contact. Play on called,
and he's got to give it to Roberts now, Shoal. Now, Roberts had King back this way, decides not to. I say back this way, towards centre half back. Martin's kick, Monkey's got it. He has started well, and as Gerard said, Hewitt can't really get a crack at him in the centre square because it's very gluey and no bounce at all, and Monkey's advantage through height and experience is paying. Not a good kick, he just belted it up in the air, and McCartney was able to take the mark. Gee, it seems a long time ago that he was wearing the black and white, doesn't it?
He's had a good start today, McCartney.
He's had a good season, really. He's played every game this year, and I doubt whether too many would have bet on that when he came to the club at the start of 1998. Graham Wright, who turned 30 yesterday. Happy birthday, Graham. What a great player he's been for the Magpies. Sitting outside Crows there. Matthew Francis comes back. Williams. So Williams and Russell doing well. Buckley's had not so much of it so far. Williams to centre half forward. McCartney back. Here's a chance. Rocker pushes forward. Watson lurking. With him Roberts. Didn't get it out of the danger zone. It's a behind. We'll see it in replay, but it's a behind. Was it Fuller dashing in with Pickett?
There was a boot in there. That was very tight.
Let's have a look, Dennis.
Where's the goal umpire? That's what we need.
They were dashing in. Pickett's so brave in the way that he puts himself across the body, and Pickett did well, didn't he?
Very well done.
Terrific.
He's a smart player, Pickett. He really is.
The goal umpire straddling the line, John. Perfectly placed.
Just as well. They're under the pump a bit.
Oh, good mark.
Geez, they've had a run of dislocated fingers. Currently, Jason McCartney is in the hands of the doctor, and he's just snapped one straight back in.
Archer got it to Scholl. Scholl runs away from the wing. Kicks well inside the 50, but ill-directed. Favoured Brown. Brown across the goal face. Wild has to wait. Well done by Abraham. Hard against the line. Pulls it back. Brown anxious to make amends. Right on the goal line. Concedes a behind.
Well, the chip around the corner from Abraham could have been better. He had a teammate in the right spot as we have a look at Jason McCartney. And Peter McKenna,
yes,
he should have done better there.
I think they've got a problem at full forward. John Longmire just hasn't got the pace to go with Gavin Brown. He's not reading the play well. I'd be making a quick move and get Craig Scholl down there on Brown, one out in the square, because really Johnny's struggling down there at full forward. Gerard?
Yeah, I'm not sure the delivery's been all that great just this early part of the game, Pete. And the midfield pressure, I think, from Collingwood has been fundamental to where they are on the board at the moment.
Godden out of the back pocket to Wild. Magpies by 11 points. This is Russell. Stops and kicks from half-back. High towards the wing. Francis in front. Stevens the fist away. Loose ball picked up by Chandler. Good evasion. Sends it back inside the 50, and this player certainly emerging for Collingwood this season. Richardson, it started last year. He's a very mature player now. Russell goes towards the outside wing.
He's had a lot of it too, Dennis Russell. Grant's handball back in board was good. Harvey back to Grant. Collingwood doing very well though. Brown, good tackle on him with a fast tackle and a boundary throw in about 45 metres left forward pocket for North Melbourne.
Bruce, John Longmire's come off the ground, as Peter suggested. Maybe a move in Dion Miles has come on the ground, number 32.
Gee, it makes him very short though, doesn't it?
Thanks, Dip, for that. So going with a short forward line here. Brown back to Buckley. Buckley measures it beautifully to Godden at half-back. Patterson's running very hard for him here. He kicks in his direction. Abraham getting back to spoil. Lovely mark. Didn't spoil at all. Just took a fingertip. He should give it off inside. He doesn't now. King was on his own for a while there, but he does deliver beautifully. Miles, this is, he's just come on. Carey can't get into it. Richardson was able to hold him back. And the Magpies away again. Russell, the big possession, get on the opening turn. Kicks the ball to half forward. Watson's got hold of it now. Ordinary kick off the boot. Rocker front spot, Anthony Rocker. Archer just got rid of him. Good hip and shoulder by Pickett. Archer with a floater back, hooked it back to Roberts or McCartney. A very good spoil by Liddell, who Gerard said has been busy early. He's on his wrong side. Goes back onto his left. May have been fractionally lucky. Might have been a miss kick. He did look there, but he has found Patterson, who's 55 metres out. Gives it all he's got. Rocker Martin, interesting, Rocker's got it. He always looked a chance here. Mickey, both of them were sort of caught the wrong way, but Rocker was, I reckon, better than evens in the run all the way.
Well, the kick was to the right side of Sav Rocker, and that was the left side in the finish. Sav only just had to hold his ground. The ball was there on his left side. If he just held Martin out, he was always going to be able to come back a metre or so and take that chest mark. It was a very good kick and good conversion there by Sav to set himself up for his second goal.
Peter McKenna did this routine. I mean, did you guys do anything like this in your day?
No, they were the old days, Brucey, but you see Mickey Martin's gone 30 metres back on the mark to try and put him off and run up to that mark, so but Sav's a good kick.
He is a good kick, isn't he? It's early days, but they're going well here, Collingwood. They looked really dangerous today.
Yeah, they've got a hell of a lot of winners in the middle of the ground at the present stage, and I know Martin Pike is probably still a little unheralded, but I think he's one of the keys to this North Melbourne side. His run through the middle of the ground and his physical presence in the middle has just been of great value to North Melbourne. It's been missing the last couple of weeks.
Rather pensive in there at the moment. In trouble out there. Play restarts. Monkhorst, like Polly Farmer, gets it down to Francis. In the road though, Bell kicks towards half forward. Winning the race is Osborne, coming across to assist there. Krasiska. Osborne plucks it away from his teammate. He's at half back. Sends play down towards half forward. Carey in defence at the moment. Had it knocked away by Liddell. Roving the pack is Roberts. Abraham, who's trying hard. Running through the middle. That's ambitious. A bounce in there. Hewitt, not the ideal target. Abraham comes again though. Forward of the wing now. Pops it down towards half forward and Scholl. That's better.
Spot on Peter McKenna. He's got his runner down there.
Short. And here's King. Right on the 50.
You can find Longmire now on the ground. Young Evan Hewitt's off the ground. He'll probably go with Monkhorst.
Margin 26 points. In fact, 17 points. What are we saying? 13 to 30. King finds Carey.
Well, they went into a control pattern at the last centre bounce, starting Wayne Carey at midway between centre half back and full back for North Melbourne, but he has pushed right through the lines and has got himself in a position to kick his second goal.
It's nearly on siren time too.
Fair way out this one.
He's got one this afternoon. So his total's at 22. Let's fly. That's close. I think it's okay. Yeah, brushed the post. It did. So a bit of drama there. Carey looking for his second of the afternoon, his 23rd of the season. 2-2 to 4-6. Just 20 seconds till quarter time.
So the Maggies, big first term here. They probably should be 4 or 5 in front. They lead by 2.5. Buckley told to kick in, and boy, does he kick in. He belts it to centre wing. That's a magnificent long kick. Longmire, Russell underneath it. Wild tries to get it out, and North able to bottle it up. So briefly, Alex McDonald almost on quarter time. What do you think? Our feeling up here, Collingwood probably should be a couple more in front, but they've done very well.
The advantage that our midfielders have given us, I think it's, we probably should have capitalised on a few stray shots and probably been 4 or 5 up. I think our back line's been great. Mark Richardson, Aussie's given us some great run, but Scotty Russell and Paul Williams have given the forwards, countless opportunities. It's just important for us to finish off because we know North Melbourne are renowned for their great second half comebacks.
2-2-4-6. So the Maggies with a good margin here. Probably should have been further in front. Buckley free kick in the centre square. Blakey with the job.
That's one of the key matchups that is going North Melbourne's way. John Blakey has done a tremendous blanketing role on Buckley. He's only had 2 kicks, coming up for his 3rd.
got the first kick of the match, ironically, and now has the first kick of the second quarter as he pushes to Monkhorst. Still in the centre square. Monkhorst working hard. Floats one to centre half forward. Wobbly. Martin pushes forward. Roberts threw it up in the end.
Oh.
Pickett was lucky to get away with that, Roberts, and a bounce down. Had a good opening term, I thought, the Fridge, and his comeback game. Peter McKenna high in the stands. Macca.
Yeah, interesting to see, Bruce. North Melbourne very quickly flooded the Collingwood forward line. Then they had many numbers back and hardly anyone on the forward line.
Longmire doing some ruck work. Stevens, an important player who didn't really see the footy in the first quarter. Monkhorst back turn. Well played, Carey, to keep it there, and then now hanging in and hold it up against the tide a bit, with Collingwood having a couple of numbers there, and it'll be a bounce down at centre wing.
Pretty tough for Wayne Carey at the moment. He has been blanketed with Damien Monkhorst just dropping back, almost playing 2-on-1 against North Melbourne.
Longmire doing that ruck work. Harvey built it off the ball. Sandwich there basically on Miles. Grant can't get through, and good decision. It'll be a bounce again right in front of where Alex McDonald's sitting today, where Dipper sits, and we're high in the sky here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground with a great view of it all.
Magpies by 16 points. The heavy cloud has moved away. Sun getting through now. Longmire and Monkhorst. A win for North there, one of the few. Godden went to ground in a tackle. It spills across to Harvey. Harvey to Welsh. Welsh forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50. Shoal up, couldn't hang on. Goes after the crumb. Over the top, Patterson. Abraham tried to thread the needle there. Brown was in the road, gave the ball away. Stevens runs into an open goal and kicks it.
Look at the jump. I mean, this sounds silly, but the jumpers are pretty similar, and I'm sure Brown actually handballed that purposely to that man.
I'm sure too.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, just on that, it was very difficult to umpire these two teams for that reason, because their jumpers are so similar.
It seems so deliberate. I thought that was the intention here.
Look at that.
Yep.
No question. Gerard?
Well, it looked exactly as you said it, and I guess it's an argument for why away jumpers should become part and parcel of every club.
Interesting, isn't it? Stevens getting a perfect handball from Gavin Brown, but not the perfect result as far as Collingwood's concerned, and still North Melbourne stay in. Buckley, that's an excellent tackle because he was away there. Stevens put the tackle on, and Blakey got the kick back to centre half forward. Sun streaming through now as the ball's in the centre square. Important to be one of, like Abraham's game today. Goes to ground, hurled up, gets the ball away. Welsh gets it to Longmire. Slow handball to Blakey. Blakey's got a bit of time now, and he belts it long, which is his trademark. Kicks to half forward. Brown there, and with him Welsh, and a boundary throw in about 50 metres from North Melbourne's goal. But that important opening goal, as we see Chauvel, who came in for Michael today, Brown and Francis, and there must be one other who's maybe Crow. It was Crow in the first quarter.
Crow, Bruce.
Thanks, Dip. So here's the boundary throw in.
Monkhorst, who's been terrific, knocks it down. Carey shrugs a tackle from 48 metres out, pulls it back. It hangs a long time in the air. Richardson, well done. Very clever mark. Mark Richardson. Broadcast side to Patterson. Patterson picked up the Brownlow votes last time these sides met. Kicks it down towards half forward. Bell here with Francis. Francis has got the toe, pulls away from Bell, but
Push in the back.
couldn't control it, but was pushed in the back, as we heard from John. And the decision made by Hayden Kennedy. So Francis with the free, forward of the wing, down towards the attacking 50. Longmire, two-fisted, gets it across the line. His side down by 10 points. Started on the forward line, didn't last long. Savroka with 2 goals. Throw in. We'll pit them against each other. Fell in front. Chandler hurriedly onto the boot. It wanders up towards the wing. Prosiska going back with the flight of the ball takes this mark. Wants to go and does. Cuts infield. That's a probing kick. A beauty. They'll contest about 40 metres out. No contest. Archer. Eyes only for the ball. A lot happening around him. He was oblivious to that. Longmire comes back and takes the mark. We bid at 8 goals against Collingwood on this ground back in '94. Only 5 goals this season. 1 against Sydney, round 8. 4 against Carlton, round 9. Welsh not paid the mark. Osborne knocks it towards the boundary line. It goes across.
Interesting matchup now at full forward for Collingwood, and I'm sure, Peter McKenna, you'd be pretty pleased with Winston Abraham matching up on Gavin Brown.
Well, that's where you've got to catch Brownie out. Brownie's tough and hard, Gerard, as you know, but Winston's playing a tremendous game, one of the best games I've seen him.
Bell couldn't get it out. Crocker's come onto the ground to go forward for North, and Osborne picks Crocker up, so that too could be an interesting one. He's very much a cameo player, Crocker, these days in terms of his injury problems, but we saw in the grand final against Sydney that his value, he's a beautiful finisher, doesn't need a lot of kicks to impact in a match. There he is, first senior match in '98. Centre wing, Grant working hard. Russell had a wonderful opening to him. Good hands to Wild. Wild pushes forward. Liddell onto him, Roberts. Bell and played Buckley. Gets the handball forward. King in trouble. Fuller robbed it off him like a thief. It was well done. Back to King. Running out of room. Pickett had to go at it hard, but the handball on the up was okay. Kinnear's handball didn't go forward far enough, and Pickett's got a bit of time now. He looked for it, well, he should have gone to Longmire, but he's belted it high in the air.
Right.
And Longmire's actually worked his way into the game pretty well, I reckon. Has taken the mark at half back.
That's a great mark in front of me. He went right back and took the pressure then.
Longmire towards half forward and Carey. Awkward bounce. Carey could have been taken high. We'll get the free about 60 metres out.
Exactly as he called it, Dennis. Carey was certainly grabbed high.
I think a lot of players are still making the mistake of trying to do U-turns on this very slippery ground. It does look in perfect condition, but it's incredibly slippery. I saw Carey trying to duck back. Guys are doing it in the centre at their own peril.
Carey plays on long down towards full forward. In from the side, Crocker. Immediately into the action. You've got to say he's a crowd favourite. It doesn't matter much who you support.
He's an interesting player too, Dennis, isn't he?
He's had terrible luck, hasn't he, along the way. He was injured against Carlton in the Ansett Australia Cup earlier this year, down in Hobart. Just one of many injuries. From 10 metres out, he kicks a goal. North right back in it.
Well, North Melbourne have produced 3 fantastic efforts there, but if it wasn't for the very first one, and that is the mark of John Longmire, then that goal probably doesn't happen. I guess you could also say that Pickett's performance across the half-back line turned it over after a scrimmage of players, but a good mark from Darren Crocker, and that will do his confidence the world of good.
And here's the problem with Collingwood now not taking advantage of their situation in the opening term. Suddenly we have a game where we're back to a kick. Moncourse goes very early. Francis tried to get through in the centre. Longmire, well done. And Abraham, brilliantly done. Fantastic football through the centre. Oh, could he kick a goal? Could this left foot go through? It does! Unbelievable! As good as an elephant gets, that one.
Carey threw him out of the pack.
Oh, don't you just love it?
I love this game.
Play it, Donny, play it again. Play it again.
I've been a bit disappointed, Bruce. You've been a little bit subdued until then. Oh, goodness, Winston Abraham's playing. But have a look at this great goal. This is one of the goals of the year. And haven't there been a few of those this year? Fantastic shepherding, set him up, and he was good enough to finish.
Go on, Dennis, say special. I'm dying for you to say it.
I'll say special, Bruce. That was special.
Right up there with Jeff Farmer's goal on Saturday. Similar in many respects. Ball up alongside the centre circle. So Winston now, 18 goals for the season. Last year only 16 all year long for the Dockers, and 16 the previous year. He really has found a home with North Melbourne. That was inspirational.
And just getting back to the way that Winston Abraham got that football, Longmire's come on, and all he's doing is taking the run of Moncourse. He's really not trying to compete for the ball, just trying to bring it to ground, as this one does done.
Grant got it across to Harvey, on the bounce to Carey. Carey, 55 metres out, took a while, goes long down towards the square. All North Melbourne should have let it go. Not sure it was Harvey alongside, I don't think there, Bell. Maybe a lack of talking. He may have thought it was a Collingwood defender, but even so, it was the wrong decision. Off hands and across the line. Watch it again. One assumes Harvey is talking there. May have said mark it.
I think often, Dennis, it's also the proximity of the goalpost. That is also a factor that has to be taken into consideration.
Is that black and white or blue and white? That's piping down the bottom. It's all very confusing down there. We saw Brown just hand pass to Stevens a few moments ago.
It's all black if you hit it running flat out.
That's right. Kicks it up towards the wing. Richardson, that's an enthralling duel now. Carey, the last couple of minutes good. Comes across to Wild. Wild into Mines, feeds Krasiska.
On the run with a couple of bounces through the centre. And a very good handball wide. Gets it to Osborne, who can attack the goal front. Good build-up. That was very good play by the Maggies. A positive probing thrust forward, wasn't it, with Krasiska and Osborne, and finding the right target for Collingwood in the perfect goal-kicking position.
And it was disappointing, I would think, from Mick Martin's perspective, because this ball was always going to go into that hole, and he didn't have any of the players peeling off and filling that most predictable end point.
Powerful handball by Krasiska on the run, and Osborne kicked it well. Now Sav's kicked beautifully so far today. And he's got it, I reckon. No. Well, from our angle, it looked like the ball might have just gone past before it had gone into the point area, but umpire says a behind. 5-3-4-7, a close one, but he has missed, and that's a bit of the pattern of the day.
What are you saying, Bruce? The goal umpires are like golfers who've got the yips.
Even Rocco knew he missed it. He slapped his knee when he kicked it.
Good on you, Dipper.
Danny Stevens on the ground and Craig Scholl off.
Kick in, missed the target. Here's Buckley, takes on a tackler. Chandler bounced off him. Blakey, nicely done. Stevens through the middle, kicking it down towards half forward, and Carey. Carey flexing his muscles now. Alongside this centre circle, Wayne Carey's away. Goes for distance, not a good kick. It tumbles towards the pocket. Kinnear's in the road.
Anthony Stevens has had a big 5 minutes.
He averages 28 possessions against Collingwood through last season. Quite remarkable. Little chip pass from Krasiska. Francis on the wing is away in the shadows of the stand to half forward. Now he likes this situation, Williams. He runs to 50, he lines them up. No second guessing. Here he slides it across the face, though. Back goes McCartney. And concedes a behind.
Jared, Governor Krasiska's playing all over the ground at the moment. Maybe a loose man there, but Shannon Grant's come off the ground because he hasn't been able to keep up with Krasiska.
It's been an interesting matchup, hasn't it? Actually saw Gavin Krasiska during the week, and he looks lean and as fit as I've ever seen him. He's having a fantastic season.
I'm surprised Williams didn't kick a score there. Normally,
what was also surprising, Dennis, is every Collingwood forward ran at the goals rather than coming at Williams providing a leading option or opening up the square.
Blakey takes a good one between halfback and centre wing. Craig Scholl's come on for Shannon Grant. Scholl's an important player too for North. They need him at his top if they're going to be a chance in September. Richardson did well with the body. Crocker, clever. Bouncing ball. Abraham running hard. Brown getting back. Brown, that was interesting. He may pay. You'd back this Harvey from here. He's got it. It's a goal. Gavin Brown's made a blue there. Might be being a bit tough on the captain, but he didn't play the odds or the percentages. And North Melbourne, as they have today, have made the most of its opportunities so far.
Well, two minds here for Gavin Brown. He tried to just flick it over to his teammate. He also had the goal line that he could have gone for. It just didn't look like one that needed to be tapped. He didn't have that much pressure on him. It may have gone with the two hands, would have made a surety of it.
Seemed to be the third of two options, that from Gavin Brown. Either force the behind or get it deep in the pocket. He did neither. 6-3, 4-8. This game has turned around. Blakey. Stevens onto the boot. It wanders out towards the wing. Danny Stevens takes the mark. Stevens there. North Melbourne, inspired by Winston Abraham, looking far better. And the mark is held by Crocker. Crocker on the ground about 6 or 7 minutes ago has already kicked a goal.
Just thinking, Dennis, Gavin Brown struggling in this team, isn't he? Handball to Stevens, goal. Crocker's kicked a couple since kicked one, and Harvey's goal a moment ago.
Yep, really has turned around. Darren Crocker. This for a 13-point lead. Kicks through the ball. It's touch and go. That's tight. The goal umpire going to his left and to behind. Well, Alex, we're making the point this game has turned on its head. It's not looking good at the moment.
It certainly have. North seem to have gained a little bit of ascendancy from the midfield. And also, I think, as you've pointed out, a couple of turnovers, costly turnovers, and probably incorrect decision-making on our behalf has got North right back in the game.
And so often you can feel it out there on the ground, can't you? Somebody does something in the opposition like Winston Abraham and the whole place is buzzing.
You can almost put it down, Dennis, to that Longmire mark here on centre wing, and he has actually neutralised Damien Monkhorst in this second term.
Buckley's kick was very good. He found Francis at 50 and hardly got off the ground. Francis wide to Osborne. He's found some space here. Now he's got Watson down the ground. He's kicked it to him. Brock's come off the interchange. Can't get to him in time. So Watson between centre wing and half forward. Collingwood 4-8, North 6-4. North has kicked 4 goals to none in this quarter. Rocker, big fly, but Archer got to the front spot. Fuller's got it, and Fuller's missed. They're missing, aren't they, the Maggies? They've really had opportunities here. It's like a broken record listening to it, I know, but that is the case. There's Miles on the interchange. King to bring it in. 13 scoring shots to 10, but North are a goal in front. King belts it wide. Longmire the target. He got rid of Monkhorst cleverly. On to Scholl. Scholl's away, and Scholl quickly delivers to Carey. Perfect build-up. Good mark. That is North Melbourne's trademark, isn't it? That they move the ball quickly. They don't muck around with a handball or a bounce in that situation, and they find Carey, who goes to Scholl, who could kick a goal from here.
Yeah, it was the signature move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From King's kick to himself and then driving it long. Geez, I thought, John, that John Longmire was maybe a shade lucky.
Look, it's always difficult, but I mean, I really thought that was a reasonable call by the umpire in that situation, but we can all dispute those.
Munko's coming off for Collingwood, and so is Roberts, and Francis going on to replace Munko.
John, I saw probably 300 people with black and white scarves all jump up and abuse the umpire over on centre wing.
I'm sure it was more than 300.
Scholl from right on 50. It's a pretty good kick. It's a beauty. It's a good goal. Geez, important, Scholl, I believe, don't you? It's so important to North. He's the icing on the cake up forward when things are going right for them.
And we'll have a look at this one and take us through it, John.
Yeah, well, the instruction given to the umpires is that as long as his prime objective is to mark the ball, then that's okay. And in that case, he really didn't extend his arms like we see many players do. It was more a case of him just holding his ground and making sure nobody invaded his little spot.
Craig Scholl getting that goal. And Peter was advocating him on the forward line. He's looking dangerous, Pete.
He certainly is. They're looking as if they've got a very mobile forward line now, Dennis. I thought that was a little push in the back for sure by Johnny Longmire.
You are. You've got the black and white scarf on, though, Pete.
Hang on, I've got a side-on view and totally unbiased, Jared.
Here's Godden, goes in short. Wild. Inside the centre square, down towards half forward. Some pushing down there as well. Rocker couldn't hang on to the mark. Goes back. Blakey, though, playing very well. Got it to Bell. Across it comes to King. King towards centre half forward. Crocker in from the side. Ball goes back inside the centre square. Crocker brilliantly done. Fell to the ground. Richardson slaps it Collingwood's way. Crocker fights on, and they tie it up.
Dennis, Longmire's come off the ground, and young Hewitt's come on with the fresh legs against Francis.
I think those 4 gentlemen will probably just match each other up from now on. Pagan thinks that he's got a player capable of conquering the big man there on screen, Damien Monkhorst.
Hewitt went to ground. Down goes Stevens.
High tackle.
Stevens will get the free kick inside the centre square with his side leading by 13 points.
And Chad Liddell's also come off for Crow.
Uses King. King goes to full forward. Longmire, Crocker front spot. Comes away towards Wild, to Buckley. They've got to be careful, Collingwood. Patterson didn't get it far enough. Rock's quick hands to Bell, to Rock. Rock off one step, hoping for a mark. Wild did pretty well. Williams attacked it. Oh, beautifully done, Williams. Kinnear's little kick away. Back to Stevens. Good goal. Goes for it from 52. Abraham! Winched on you, little beauty! He has exquisite movement skills. He's a very, very, very good footballer. Love watching his movement. In the pocket. What a half a footy he's played, because I thought when North was going badly early, he was playing well. Left foot. Of course he's goal. He's having a good one.
Well, Dennis Pagan didn't panic at quarter time. He just made a couple of structural changes. I think most notably the one of Longmire into the centre of the ground has turned this game around. And he also needs some support from ground level players. And Winnie Abraham has just turned it on for everybody here at the MCG in front of a big house.
(8-4-4-9). Peter McKenna.
I think Dennis Collingwood got a big problem up forward with Anthony Rocker. He cannot get into the game against Archer. And he's going to have to bite the bullet shortly, I think, Tony Shaw.
Williams comes away, sends it down in that direction. Well, Pete, you've inspired him.
Forget I said that, Dennis.
No, I think it was important to what happened.
Well, he needed,
Don't be so modest.
He needed that to stir him up.
I thought you were shouting. Voices carry at the MCG. Magnificent mark. Anthony Rocker.
I think significantly, though, the ball came out of the midfield with purpose. Went down the middle of the ground. Collingwood have been pushed very wide here this afternoon. And the ball's been coming in quite erratically to the forwards. That was his trademark.
Last time these two sides met, he started at centre-half back on Corey McKernan. Important kick, this one. 30 metres out. Bends the knee, not convincing. Goal umpire goes to the right. Well, Pete, what do you say?
Dennis, it's just not good enough. I mean, that's 30 metres out directly in front, and if you're any sort of a forward, you just have to kick those, or you're letting your whole teammates down. As we look at the mark again, fantastic mark, he had it set up for him, but you've just got to convert from 30 metres.
Didn't follow through on the kick, did he?
No, he stabbed at it.
Inside 50 just at the moment in this quarter. North Melbourne 11 and Collingwood just the 6th.
King comes away. He's been missing the target generally too high again there. Archer had to go. Bill made it look okay. Gets it to Scholl. Scholl floats it down towards the 50. They've cleared it out for Carey. Off his fingertips to the ground, and then Wild. Wild comes towards our broadcast side. This is Krasiska. North Melbourne 52. Collingwood 34. Great chase by Abraham. Off the ground by Martin. Dragged down there was Longmire. It was Crocker actually coming through as Wild. He was collared. Well done by Harvey. Crawling after it was Scholl. Picking it up is Chandler. Chandler kicks inside the 50. Buckley worked out of it by Carey. And Carey is marked. Plays on. Harvey running into an open goal. Puts it through. Three goals to Harvey.
And Byron Pickett has run from the back pocket to the half-forward flank. He's wrapped up Winston Abraham and said, "Your goal, young man, that was an absolute beauty." And this was a fair bit of, I think, a reaction to the inspirational run and chase by Winston Abraham. We saw a gang tackle there. That's just pure class against a class opponent, Buckley, who's trying to work his way into the game. And then poor discipline. Players have just dropped their concentration from Collingwood. And the question I think about Collingwood is whether or not they can rise to the challenge with their skills. When the real heat of the contest comes on, they were fine in the first quarter, but then when North Melbourne answered and put some white-hot pressure on them, their skill and decision-making processes have dropped right away.
That whole passage of play was as if North have got a taste for it, haven't they?
Yep.
They've really got a taste for this match now. And Collingwood have got to respond. 9-4, 4-10. The Anthony Rocker goal, or kick for goal, becomes even more important now, doesn't it?
What about Buckley back in defence?
On Carey, yeah.
When you're trailing by this much.
Oh, it's a fair enough move, I think, though, Dennis. He just hasn't been able to contribute in the middle.
Osborne to centre half forward. Free kick to Richardson against McCartney over the shoulder, hanging on.
I'd like him up forward.
Let's see.
Half forward or something.
Let's see if Richardson could build a long one. You know him pretty well, Macca. Is this outside his range, or would you fancy him?
Well, he's not too bad. He's improved his kicking over the years. I think I'd back him for the distance. If he kicked like his old man Wayne, he'd make the distance. Wayne Richardson was a magnificent player for Collingwood.
9-4 to 4-10. Well, the Maggies need it, all right. 7 goals to North in this quarter. It's coming back. They like it behind the goals. It's a good kick. Well, it was a bonus one, wasn't it? It was a bit unexpected. And that gives Collingwood something to take towards half-time. Maybe another one would really tighten it up. 9-4 to 5-10.
Well, I think when all was lost last week against Fremantle, seemingly the Pies were really in trouble at three-quarter time. They threw Mark Richardson forward, and he's had a very good year at centre-half back. And he really responded and did the job for his coach. So it's no wonder he's pushed him forward now, because this game is slipping away from Collingwood. And he's done it once again with a pretty good goal.
So the margin back to 18 points. 9-4 plays 5-10. Approaching half-time. Francis the big leap. Missed time though. Crow falling to the ground. Shovels it out. Over the ball is Francis. We've got a whistle and the North Melbourne free.
Yeah, over the shoulder was the signal. Dennis, oh, there's a 50. That's probably an indication of what Tony Francis thought of the free kick. I can't comment on the free. I certainly didn't see any high contact, but umpire certainly has to take a bit of control here, because it's on the wing as well, and it's breaking out in a couple of spots on the ground. So they really have to get this kick taken as quickly as possible. So no, there's been a free kick paid to Collingwood on the wing. So North lose the kick, and Collingwood will take the free kick where it's to their greatest advantage.
It's garbage, John. How does that free kick override the one over there? I mean, how's he to know that it happened after that one?
Ridiculous umpiring, John. Absolutely ridiculous.
Tony Francis is coming off the ground. I thought that kick on the wing may have saved him. It won't. Richardson gets it away to Russell, and Russell punishes North Melbourne. Well, everything is happening here at the MCG. A skirmish on the wing after we saw some lawn bowls from Tony Francis. Francis off the ground. Wild is on. And a big goal for Collingwood. They're right back in this now. 6-10, 9-4. It's humming and bubbling.
I'm sure there's a logical answer, John. We better give you right a reply.
No, look, I must admit, I agree. In the context of the game, the free kick was to be taken by North Melbourne at centre-half forward, and all of a sudden there's a free kick pulled out to Collingwood on the wing. I'm confused as well. And
the umpire must have seen something, John.
The free kick was paid by Hayden Kennedy on the wing, but Darren McCauley was in control of the game at centre-half forward. So it certainly does make you wonder what was serious enough to justify that size penalty.
And lip reading there, Dennis Pagan was talking about a swing of 12 points, and it was.
And the free kick was against Archer, but
it was the end of the game if North Melbourne kicked that one.
Abraham back to Scholl at half forward, stretches him. Crocker, Buckley back there. Buckley under pressure, did well. He kept his cool. Back to Kinnear. Was it out of play? Was it boundary throw-in?
Yeah, one person who's played for Danny Stevens is one of the players who stood in the way of that 50-metre penalty, and he was taken off the ground.
That's interesting, because Francis ran into him, but the free was against Archer right in front of you.
There's a few punches that are worth throwing them. That's why the decision was reversed. But it is amazing that...
We're going to have a look at a replay. Here's Paul Williams and Glenn Archer. Hayden Kennedy there.
He's got his back to the play. How can that free kick override what's happening?
Now that's the free kick. Now that's against Archer to Williams, and there certainly didn't look as though there was a hell of a lot of that.
Kings kicked it. Kings kicked the goal, not Carey David. Well, a pathetic free kick against Archer 3 minutes ago. It's 10-4 to 6-10.
But just get me back to the overriding aspect of it, John. Hayden Kennedy is a terrific umpire, he's an experienced umpire, but the incident that was happening at centre-half forward looked as if there was going to be another free kick to another North Melbourne player.
Yeah, I suppose the thing is, it's certainly Hayden Kennedy's whistle was after the last whistle by Darren McCauley, so whatever he saw, he was certainly confident occurred after what McCauley had reacted to, but I certainly didn't see Archer do anything that warranted that sort of penalty.
Plenty to talk about. Rock gets it out of the middle, kicking it out towards the wing. Leading the race is Russell. Margin back to 18 points. Pickett did brilliantly. Put the body in. Harvey liked his game. Very high kick. Down towards half forward. Crocker reaches over the top of Kinnear and knocks it out of bounds.
And I suppose what makes it even more confusing is the fact that we see clashes between players time and time again during the game, and then when players seemingly stopped like that, we suddenly see a really big ticket free kick almost turn a game.
I wonder if Dennis Pagan had the final word by leaving Glenn Archer on.
Wild picks it up, breaks away, kicks towards half forward. Welsh bounces away from him across the line. So 2 minutes till half time. Big second term by North Melbourne. They trailed by 16 points at quarter time. Boundary throw in, getting gloomy again. Some clouds rolling over. Krasiska and Blakey. Won by Blakey. White, the big 3-0, as Bruce told you just days ago. McCartney goes back, takes the mark on his chest, plays onto Archer. Archer, high kick, showing a lot of the ball to Wild. Bell almost, and across the line.
Corey McKernan, oh boy, what bad luck he's had. Matthew Capuano with him. So we get the boundary throw. McKernan, a freak accident at training when he was trying to prove his fitness for this match. Dislocated a finger on the other hand and had that operated on. Wild's little kick. Blakey, what a good player Blakey has been today, as he has for so often. Carey cleared the pack for Scholl. Scholl tried to use Buckley, okay. Rock caught, hasn't got control. Play on called. Well done there by Godden to get it to Crowe. Crowe at half-back, back to centre wing. An important little period here. Francis, Hewitt, back turns into trouble. Pushes forward. Harvey's been very good. Too far for Grant. That's a bad kick. Krasiska well played. Was going to use Wild. Decided to go long and hard. He wants a rocket mark. Sav was big and strong. He couldn't take it. Richardson threw it out, I thought. Goes forward. Goes forward. Watson's kicked it late in the half. An important one.
Well, the umpire seemed to be in perfect position about 15 metres away. That did appear to be a throw.
Yeah, it did. Certainly did appear to be a throw. But what seems to happen is that when there's a bit of heat in the kitchen, there certainly has been in the last 5 minutes of this game. Here we see the replay. Krasiska's kick comes to Rocker flying. Ball goes down. Richardson grabs the footy, and that he kicks the ball. It's funny because I did think that when I saw it at normal speed initially, that he threw it onto his boot to kick it out. So that was reasonable. But when there's a lot of heat in the game, it's really important they concentrate.
That's a great call by the umpire to keep his head there and not go with the early whistle. Let it unfold. Here's Williams on the 50. Smothered brilliantly by Pickett. It goes a mile in the air. Chandler slaps it back towards the 50. Coming through strongly is King. Short passes to Hewitt. The clock is down to 35. Hewitt on the outer side. Back to King. King follows up well. Kicks it out towards right half forward. Rock. Unkind bounce. Here's Crocker. He's had an influence. Dragged down from behind by Kinnear. Holding the ball. We're down to 24 seconds. North Melbourne by 12 points. Give Collingwood their due. They've come back hard. In all sorts of trouble midway through the term. Kinnear's away then. Beats the man on the mark. Kicks it high towards the wing. Williams finessing against two. Still he goes, Paul Williams. Brilliantly played. At the top to Watson. Liddell hard against the line. Kicks inside the 50. There's the siren. It's half-time at the MCG. In the first half, a game of two halves. Collingwood initially, and then North Melbourne biting back strongly, and Collingwood showing some spark as we approached half-time. North Melbourne
Collingwood particularly line up here with some of the moves they've made. Alex McDonald's down on the boundary line. Collingwood play. Alex, what do you think about the centre square, the fact that Collingwood lost its advantage in the second term?
I think, Bruce, there's probably two key areas we need to concentrate on this in this second half, and particularly the first, I suppose the first thing is out of the centre square. If we get some drive out of it, gives our forwards an opportunity, but also cuts Carey out of the game a little bit. I think also we need to keep the pressure on in our forward line. I think North started to get their running game going with the Kings and the like out of the back line.
Alex, what are they doing with Nathan Buckley starting across half-back?
I think probably, as Danny said in the interview, was probably trying to break the tag a little bit, get some run into Bucks' legs, and hopefully give us some drive as well by driving it long into the forward 50.
Thanks for that, Alex. As we start the second half here, Bell with the first kick out of the centre. Carey the target. There's good spoil at the back, though, coming from Buckley. Goes back to Liddell, I think. His kick across the ground, right on the ground. A handball, had a bit on it, got it to Monkey. Only one kick in the second quarter after a very good first quarter. Kick was a bit lazy in board, and Grant has had a quiet match. Gets the ball and bangs it to full forward. Crocker, good fly. He has had an impact, couldn't hold. Buckley got it from Crow. So Buckley, as Alex said, getting some run into his legs and getting some of the footy, has his second early touch. Finds his captain, Gavin Brown, who had an average second term. At 15 minutes he'd like to forget, but great player that he is, he'll give everything he's got as he kicks the ball almost to centre wing. Krasiska's beat fly at the back. Stevens read it well, had a super second quarter and pushes forward on his right foot and gets the ball to half forward. There's the interchange bench for Collingwood. Shawbull hasn't had a go today. Wild there. Also Francis, who no doubt will come on for Moncourse at some stage in this quarter.
Getting pretty dark too. Thrown in from the side. Crow, almost clean possession, but it fell to Chandler. Chandler, high kick towards centre half forward, waiting in front. Krasiska got the hand pass away. Francis falling to the ground. Kinnear digs it out. This is Crow once more from left half back. Higher one up towards the wing. King goes back, controls it pretty well. King, good evasion. As he's bounced, swings it out wide to Bell. Bell right on the wing then. Down towards half forward, ill-directed. Up goes Crow and takes a good mark. Chandler was bearing down. Buckley takes the feed. From left half back towards half forward goes the kick. Richardson, what a catch! Oh, that was very, very good. Body to body with McCartney. And low down Richardson took the mark. Long kick. Rocker! Anthony Rocker over the top of Martin has taken this mark 25 metres out. The Cadbury's contender right there. He's taken a couple of big ones this afternoon. Right in position A for him. Had the run. Now needs to convert, something he didn't do when he took that great mark in this second term. North Melbourne, incidentally, coming off their best second quarter of the season. 8 goals too, their previous best, 46 against Adelaide in round 6 on this ground. Such an important kick here. Anthony Rocker. Well, it's trying to come back. He likes it. Does the goal umpire share that opinion? No sirree.
I think the mark was actually set up by Big Sav, because just prior to that taking the tussle with Martin, he signalled to go kick the ball long, and I think he unselfishly took the front position, acting as the stepladder for his younger brother.
A couple of misses for Rocker today after spectacular marks, basically in the same position. About 35 metres out with hardly an angle. King to himself, wide to Longmire. Well done, Sav Rocker. Belted it towards the line. Still in play. Krasiska forced out by Martin. Boundary throw in. Krasiska feeling he probably got a push in the back, but no free kick.
I tend to agree with him, actually.
Well, certainly a push. Whether or not it was in the side or the back is the thing in question. I reckon it's side push.
Contact with the arm.
Play on.
Rocker all over Martin. He's got to get a free kick, Mickey, and does from the boundary throw-in. So Martin to take it, 64 to 53. Sav Rocker, he's also missed one, didn't he, in the second quarter that was close. He's kicked 2-1.
Dipper, can you ask the fellow on the light switch to turn it on?
Yes, I think it's getting quite dark down here, boys.
Pickett's kick was a beauty to Longmire.
Turn on the lights, will ya?
Longmire, just little pushy kick to Blakey. Blakey can measure it now, and he does. Kicks in the Carey direction. Can't get a run at it. Chance for Bell. Brown and Francis after him. Bell's left footer is a good kick. Well done, Liddell. He kept cool under pressure. And a behind. Peter Bell, not a lot of touches today. There's North Melbourne, Hewitt and Stevens amongst them. So a couple of goals in at Buckley to belt it in. Have a look at this for a kick as he kicks to Williams.
Looking for Williams. Scholl going back, did pretty well. Got a hand in there. Williams across the body. It bounces up towards the wing. Russell goes after it, confronted, gets the hand pass away. Chandler first back, though. Tried to give the impression he was stopping. He knew exactly where the boundary was.
Scotty Russell is a player that really needs to lift again after being best on the ground in the first quarter. He went from 10 possessions down to 2. So he's the midfield driving player that Collingwood needs to have a big second half.
Richardson appear to be dragged out of that one. Pickett thumps it. Russell hard against the line, manages to get the kick away. Clever Mark Williams inside the 50, 40 out and closing. Slides it right across the face. Barely sneaks it in for a behind. Had a couple of half chances, hasn't converted. They need him to do it. 10-5, 7-12. Pete?
Yes, Dennis, just looking up the North Melbourne forward line, they've gone with Mark Roberts deep up there with Crocker and putting Craig Scholl further up the ground to use his mobility.
Pete, can you tell him to turn the lights on?
Oh, it's very, very dark out here, but looking to the west, there's no sign of rain, Dennis. Nice and bright.
Thanks, Mac and McCartney's long ball to centre wing. Carey and also Buckley. Held up was Stevens trying to go through. Williams, interesting, he's had a couple of shots for goals today. He's kicked 2 goals in his last 5 matches only. 7 goals this season. Averages about 1.5 going into this season. So he hasn't been the goal kicker this year that we've normally seen from him. And one you mentioned earlier, Dennis, when he didn't make the distance, a real trademark in the second quarter from just inside 50 on the run. Free kick there to Welsh, I think it is. It is hard to see. It's Harvey, I should say. 3 goals in the opening half was very good. Comes around, centre wing, and then bangs it hard and high. Looking to centre half forward. Roberts was one of the flyers there with Crocker. Ball on the ground, read well by Scholl. Scholl goes for goal. Good kick. Oh, beautiful goal. He's important. We've talked about his influence in the second quarter. He's got a couple of goals here, and North get an important little break, I feel. 11-5 to 7-12.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player, Craig Scholl. We know that he re-established himself as an AFL footballer after seemingly being on the outer a few years ago. As a forward, he was a key player in North Melbourne's last premiership. He's been a key player today also, both the full forward and the wing.
Craig Scholl getting that last goal. Started the season in brilliant form with 5 goals against the West Coast Eagles in round 1, including today. He's kicked 11 since. Krasiska gets it out of the middle down towards Sav Rock. A bouncing ball comes to McCartney across the goal face, clears the zone. Watson stayed out of the contest, perhaps should have gone across there. Longmire takes the mark as a result. We saw Watson in the foreground, made the decision not to go. Kick towards midfield. Godden, clever mark, plays on immediately to Francis. Francis is away alongside the centre circle. Pro being kicked down towards the Rockers. Martin read it best. Took the chest mark. The hand pass rather untidy. It bounces across to Scholl. Scholl kicking towards centre half forward, and Roberts trapped it brilliantly. Mark Roberts off his step, pops it towards Carey. 50-50 ball. Buckley went in hard. Got it down to Francis to right. Now it's with Krasiska. Krasiska around the outer side wing. Loose ball. Martin leads in the race. Back after missing a couple of weeks, Mickey. Props, chips it and finds support. This is Danny Stevens, just short of the wing.
Brings the ball in board to centre wing. Collingwood able to cut it off again by Francis, and then they go forward. Marked by King. King away. Belts a handball. Gee, interesting handball actually. Stevens had an opponent. King backs up. Taken by Stevens. North had numbers there in the end. That was the difference. Stevens has kicked to Carey is a good one. Carey had a very big second quarter on the left. Kicks the ball to the space. Wants Longmire. Oh, that's good. You've got to pay that. You reckon he meant every bit of it. Peter Mack, you've got a better view than we have from where you are. It looked just perfect. Peter McKenna, I was just saying that you've got a great view from where you are. It looked as if Carey meant every inch of that.
It was fantastic, Bruce. He looked to the right, turned, thought about the handball, had no one to give it to, went back onto the left and still had the assurance to turn and saw Longmire running back and just went ping on the left foot. A low trajectory kick, no chance to Monkhorst to catch him. Magnificent to watch from here, Bruce.
Well, Monkhorst coming off, by the way. Shawbull coming on now. This is a big kick, isn't it? Because this gives North Melbourne a pretty big lead. And Longmire has missed. So we've seen Anthony Rocker miss 2 from probably an extra 5 metres out. And Longmire, who's kicked over 500 goals in his career, misses an easy one. As we said a moment ago, Monkhorst off the ground. Shawbull has a run. And Collingwood this time, Dennis, get the let off.
Yes. There's Buckley to bring it back in. Towards the 50 with precision. Brown the mark. Osborne back on the ground from centre half back towards midfield. They've turned it over. Back goes Carey. Wants to go and does. Slips away. Kicks it back towards Crocker, and there are strong hands. That was a terrific mark. Brown caught the body in midair, and normally that's enough to move the hands. It didn't move Crocker's. Marvellous mark. And Crocker about 35 metres out.
Well, Carey marked Gavin Brown's kick, I think it was, into the forward line after Brown received it from Nathan Buckley, who kicked out. Then he has to quickly run back, find his full forward, and in the transition, the turnover caught him just slightly unawares.
Darren Crocker at his second. It's good. Why smile? He's got two.
Big mark by Wayne Carey just across the middle of the ground. And he is patrolling that centre corridor, and as the game gets going, it gets better. It was actually Richard Osborne who, he must have received it from Gavin Brown, because I'm sure Gavin Brown was on the end of the mark. And there it was. There's the hole. Brown had just got back on, but wasn't able to take the front position or affect the spoil.
We're back to the big margin again that we had at one stage in the second quarter, 24 points. Collingwood need the next, 12-6, 7-12. They have been wasteful. Well done, Longmire. Bell out of the centre. Bow bounce for Carey. Well played by Buckley. Belts it forward. Took a little while to get a handle on it there, Collingwood. Buckley then under pressure. Francis back to Buckley. Buckley delivers to half forward. Stevens, Williams, a bit of pushing. Good umpiring to let it go. Pickett. He's played wonderfully well. Stevens found a way through. Straightens the body. Is it down the ground?
Yes, it is, Bruce. He was flattened after disposal, so the free kick will be taken by Carey on the wing.
So Carey will launch here and deliver. Kicks to centre half forward. He wants Scholl. 2 men up. Ball comes to ground. Very, very quick off the ground and behind there by Miles by the look of it. And in his first match, it's a point. So 79-54. Looks about 14, Dion Miles. He's 19 years of age. Now here's Stevens and Paul Williams just giving it away down the ground, and Carey getting the kick. So Buckley to bring it in. 12-7 to 7-12 here. So same number of scoring shots, but a big difference on the scoreboard.
Evan Buckley then coming off 36 possessions last week. The season's high is 40. Finds Brown. Came against Richmond in round 4. No doubt the wisdom of Buckley on Carey. Already carried 3 possessions in this term, so on pace for 6. If he gets 6, he's going to hurt you. There's no question about that. Here's Wright, got it from Brown. They work it out. Krasiska driving it towards half forward. It pitches just in front of Wild and runs away across the line. 79-54. North on top after a slow start. Under 11 minutes till 3/4 time. Collingwood perfect under Tony Shaw against North Melbourne. Ball up. Blakey at the base of that pack, who really has been instrumental in where Buckley finds himself now. Great job early, denying him possessions. There's the bounce. Roberts goes after it again. Blakey, quick hands away to Chandler. Chandler inside the centre square. Carey had it knocked away. Coming through is Brown. So Brown now appears to be on Carey. It's fed back from Francis to Wright. Now Osborne. Osborne on the wing. Has the bounce. Needs to finish this one. Kicks for space. Out comes Rocker. Meters in the clear. Almost as if Mickey didn't want to test the hamstring there.
Yeah. He had a feel for it, I think.
Yes, he certainly dropped off as they came to that ball.
But Dennis, the first time you'll see this is like the soccer, where a player has to come off. They put the number up, and the player responds to that number to come off the interchange.
For a pit stop.
A little pit stop there.
Watch Mickey. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gone.
Potential for trouble for North. Rocker miscues completely down in front. Wild missed the mark. Down goes Patterson. Crowd thought he was pushed, not the umpire. King hand passes wide. Tracks it towards the line now, David King, and runs across.
And we discussed that a bit yesterday on game day, that tackle from behind that seemingly buries the player. I won't comment on that one because we're in front of that tackle, but certainly in many, many situations where the player has run down from behind, he should be rewarded with a free kick for a push in the back.
Interesting to see whether Martin stays on. I think he wants to, but if he's not right, and he's been out with a hammy for a couple of weeks. Roberts gets it from Bell to centre wing. Scholl was tall. Shaw ball out the back. Crow just pushed as he kicks, but he's okay. Into the centre. Graham Wright, who would be very hungry. He sat on the interchange in the first half. Yeah, Mickey's got to come off, I think. He just has to come off the ground. And Rocker's got the mark.
North very slow to react there, weren't they?
Well,
Dipper, who's down on the boundary line on the bench that could perhaps go to fullback?
Well,
if anyone.
Well, at the moment we've got Hewitt said, yeah, the fridge has just come off now. Now Longmire's on the ground.
I think Mickey's coming off now.
Yeah, so I suppose the fridge can go to full back, but Mickey is certainly coming off now as we speak. So
perhaps the fridge could ruck and Longmire go to full back or something.
Yeah, it'd only be a 1-for-1 change.
Rocker 49 metres out. That's a better kick. That's his third goal. Be a very big moment in the match when you think that Martin, arguably the best fullback, well, you've got Silvani and Dunkley, but he's right on the top tier, isn't he? Off the ground now, and Rocker will get the secondary choice, and he has kicked 3.
Well, that's how he did it, but I guess what was a little bit mystifying was the fact that he allowed himself to stay on. He should have put his hand up, I think, in retrospect. And we see it's Jason McCartney gone down to fullback.
McCartney has gone to fullback on Rocker. Michael Martin off the ground. Collingwood edging closer. They're down by 19 points now. Blakey doing the rucking opposed to Shawball. It comes wide of the pack to Godden. Osborne in trouble. Got the hand pass off towards half forward. Bell slung. Got boot to ball. Buckley has been released up the ground now. Buckley on the wing. Kicks it down towards right half forward. Richardson lets the ball run onto his own advantage. Now he stretches out. Richardson smothered off the boot superbly by Pickett. Not the first time this afternoon. It comes back to Hewitt. Hewitt under pressure for North. Kicks it towards the outer side. Pickle bounce for Buckley. It runs free behind to Abraham. Gets it away to Bell. Bell on the wing. Kicking down towards half forward. Going across is Carey. Brown almost the mark. Lost his footing. Picked up by Carey. Carey eyeball to eyeball with Brown. Slips it away to Harvey. Harvey gets the hand pass on. Taken out there by Chandler. Smothered off the boot by Crow. Crow gets it away to Brown. Brown kicks it long around the outer side. Only as far as Francis.
Francis gives it off to Buckley. Buckley, 80 metres from goal, delivers. Rocker gets rid of his opponent and kicks his fourth. The Maggies are back in this. That's it. Pulsating football. Interesting too. The Carey hung onto the ball for a long time. Brown refused to be drawn to him. He then had to go to Harvey. It was a fascinating bit of play, wasn't it?
It was a darn good smother by Crow, and I reckon great coaching by Tony Shaw, who just had a sniff that with that goal a couple of minutes ago that perhaps the momentum was starting to swing their way, and they put their match winner up into the middle, and he's been effective in this goal.
Martin, as we saw, getting treated. Rucks go at it again. Longmire this time is in there. They've been improvising, both clubs.
Johnny Blakey to take the free kick for holding the man, Dennis.
Who has gone straight back on to Nathan Buckley.
Martin back to 13 points. Blakey alongside the centre circle. Kicks inside the 50. Crocker could have been held on to. Brown paddles it towards the line. Wasn't to know he was in space. And gets it across. Collingwood sticking. They got the jump initially. North Melbourne surged back in the second term. And Collingwood in danger of losing touch. They've kicked the last couple. Rocker getting free on the forward line. Martin off the ground, so potential trouble there. That ball was out of bounds, I thought.
Yep.
That's the call, so a boundary throw in.
Peter Bell has been a very good player for North Melbourne in this term. They are seemingly just rotating the dominance, North Melbourne midfielders. don't think you'd say that one has been dominant for the entire 3 quarters so far.
Carey tries to get rid of Shawball. Shaw, well done by Russell to push forward. Back to Harvey, under pressure. Did he run? He didn't run out. He ran out, but the ball didn't. Winston Abraham's little handball just went to the ground, and another boundary throw-in. Collingwood doing well here, holding up north as we look at Rock on the interchange at the back there.
I think it's fair to say, Bruce, that Tony Francis has responded to whatever harsh words were spoken. He's had 7 possessions in this term, and Buckley's already had 5 kicks.
North wanting a deliberate against Brown for the 2nd time, but it would have been a tough call. 79 to 66, 12-7, 9-12. North kicked 8 goals in the 2nd term. Dennis told us earlier that's their best 2nd quarter in 1998. Carey lays it off. Couldn't be taken. Was the tackle low on Wild? No. Play on.
I don't think it was, Bruce. The tackle's allowed to be obviously above the knee, and I think that was above the knee, more around the thighs.
Hey, watch, he slips down though, John.
Yeah, it certainly does slip down a bit, doesn't it?
So it'll be a bounce about 55 metres from goal for North. They probably need a goal here. They've had it in attack for 2 or 3 minutes, and the momentum is with Collingwood for the moment. Francis, well done to Russell, to space, to Osborne. Osborne loves to run. He's on his left foot, delivers pretty good to Watson, 55 metres out. Anthony Rocker's one out in the goal square with McCartney. Watson's going to load up, I think, and give it his best. He has. It's going and going and going. It's gone all the way. A big kick. He really gave it the lot, didn't he? And Collingwood's back right there. This is a dead set even money match from here. 12-7 to 10-12.
Well, it's about momentum, this game at the present time, and it's all going with Collingwood. They're like jewels in the crown, players that can convert from outside of the 50, particularly with today's defensive tactics. John Longmire jumping back to crowd up the goal square, but to no avail.
Plenty to think about North Melbourne at the moment. Collingwood coming at them strongly. Longmire knocks it down. Coming through Danny Stevens. Abraham, the defensive side of the circle by about 10 metres. Sends play towards half forward. Kinnear almost. Chandler waiting in front, got the crumb. Hurriedly across. High kick from Welsh. It floats inside the 50. Carey goes down.
Signal given was for a push.
They're not going to like this, the Collingwood Army.
May well have been a little bit too high also, but I'll tell you what, she was a pretty brave decision. I reckon the Collingwood Army are going to be a little bit incensed by this one, but no question there was a neck.
Certainly high tackle. What confused the Collingwood crowd, I think, was the fact that the signal given was for a push in the back.
I think they were confused because it was given to Carey.
Kicks a timely goal.
Kick 3, Carey, 1 in each of the quarters. Just like Watson for Collingwood. It's a good game. It's like the temperature's been turned up a few degrees in the last 10 minutes.
It's a tough job, though. 1 out against Wayne Carey. Most defences would have extra players dropping back against Wayne Carey. And, John, there's no question about that one, is there?
There's no doubt that's a free kick, and maybe all the Collingwood supporters should go back and have a look at it on 7's replay tonight.
I think I've given him 1 extra goal, Carey. I do favour him sometimes. 13-7 to 10-12.
We all get accused of that, Bruce.
85 to 72. Terrific game of football. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around Australia here.
Shawball into the middle in the ruck.
Longmire's been good, hasn't he? Since quarter time, he's been very good. Crow out of the centre. The centre break's so important. Wild back to Crow, and he broke the tackle, which was important. Kicks to Rocker. At full forward, no free kick to North. Stevens read it beautifully. He'll kick it as hard as he can to the space. And Abraham and Godden will take off. Oh, those silky smooth skills of Abraham. He has produced another little gem here today. He's in trouble. He's got the handball away. He's gone. Well, he spoiled it.
I think he attempted to handball, Bruce, but the attempt, it has to be a successful kick or handball if the players had a prior opportunity. In this case, we see Abraham use his skills to evade the tackle, and obviously has a prior opportunity to dispose of the ball. Here he tries to handball but doesn't succeed, so incorrect disposal.
Good mark in the front by Richardson. It was like Picasso had painted something very, very nice and then put a little blotch on it at the end, hadn't he? Still, he gave us... sorry, Dennis. He gave us something to remember again. This is a good grab, a really good grab from Richardson in the front.
Well, Collingwood weren't really taking a lot of marks in their forward 50 in the first half, and when they didn't really kick all that accurately, but they've come up with a couple of beauties in this term.
Well, he kicked one in the second quarter that was arguably further out than this, probably a couple of metres further out, same angle, kicks from 52, he's hooked it and snuck it in for a behind. They wanted that one, the Maggies. It really is a close match, and we heard the coaches prior to the match talk about where they were at as far as the season was concerned, the fact that they draw the line on this match at halfway. Shaw said, Tony said 5 and 6, 6 and 5 is a big difference, and Dennis Pagan's not completely comfortable with the way North have been going.
King towards the outer side. Hewitt is up, claims the mark. Haven't seen a lot of Grant. He kicks it from half back towards the wing. Kinnear out-thought there by Scholl. Scholl close to the boundary line. Margin is 12 points. North in front. Scholl down towards centre half forward goes the kid. Carries the target, launches himself. Brown defiantly got it on the ground. Crocker couldn't control it. This is Wright with some time now. Feeds it off. Crow. He's been handy since coming on. Crow towards the outer side. Back goes Buckley. Blakey was there as usual, knocked it away. This is Shawble taken front on by Bell. Goes back to Buckley. Blakey bearing down. Buckley gets the kick away. Lucky. Found Patterson. Patterson's at right half forward. Comes back towards the middle. Krasiska. Chandler couldn't get there in time. Gavin Krasiska just outside the 50. Walker back in the square.
Krasiska could kick this.
Doesn't want to try. Goes to Osborne. Dropped it. Danny Stevens coughed it up immediately. Osborne, Krasiska, another chance. Swings it out wide. Crow just forward of the wing. A little looping hand pass. Osborne a chance to make amends. Too slow. Hand passes inside the 50. Stevens great evasion. Kick not so good. Comes across to support though. Welsh down towards centre half forward. Back they go. Brown and Carey. Carey could have been held on to. It matters not. He's kicked his third.
Big goal. The big player for the moment. 14-7 to 10-13.
Well, this is just a real tragedy, I guess, for Collingwood, because that was just overplayed, that handball. Wasn't a great kick either by Stevens, but this was all class. Two good players, one finished.
Little break now for North again, but Collingwood's done enough to suggest they're far from out. 14-7 to 10-13. Shawble got over the top. Centre square's been vital, as it always is. Wild pushes forward. It ricocheted away from Watson. Longmire couldn't get a handle on it. Wild to Russell. The handball wasn't good enough to Shawble, but Shawble got it up to Osborne. Osborne gone. Holding it. No.
Get rid of it.
Not holding it. Godden, well done, Pickett. Very well done to Welsh. Welsh kicks long. Carey and Brown again. He's got it again, the King. He'll kick it, you reckon? He'll go back and dob it through.
Gerard, I think you're dead right. How did Gavin Brown get rid of the ball in the centre? But Hayden Kennedy was directly behind him. And
gee, Pickett again. Sorry, John.
Fantastic.
How many times has he done that?
At least 3.
So Carey from 50. This will be 3 goals if he kicks it in the third quarter. It's a big ask. Goes back. It's big and it's long and it's good again. The King has put them 4 in front. He's broken this game apart now with 2 goals late. It's 15-7 to 10-13.
Well, this was the one. And, well, that was an incorrect disposal. I would have thought it was line ball for prior opportunity, but the umpire called play on. But good mopping up by the North Melbourne defence. They've just been just that little bit better under pressure. Their skills have stood up and withstood the pressure of Collingwood. And I think they've won a fair few back with Collingwood skills wielding.
So Carey has taken 9 marks. His season's high is 12 against Brisbane in round 4. He's on target, I'd suggest, to beat that this afternoon.
Talk about skills, Jeremy. The tackling of North Melbourne has been superb today.
Yeah, I think Collingwood's has been pretty fair also, Dipper, but Collingwood's disposal just has been at a different level to North Melbourne's under the heat.
Three-quarter time at the MCG, and there's the man who's put North Melbourne in their situation of strength. He started well, he finished well.
And it's on the bench, and it's Richardson who's going to start in the ruck, so they're going to be short around the ground.
Start of the final quarter here in the big Monday match of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Longmire got it to Bell, to centre half forward. Shawbull's got the job on Carey, who kicked 3 goals in the third quarter. Shoal, good finishing look, just hooked it a bit far. And behind, so North, when you look at the score since quarter time, they've kicked 13 goals to 5 since quarter time. Peter McKenna, they look to have a lot of firepower at the moment.
They certainly do. It's amazing, Bruce, when North get under pressure, which they were in that third term, they immediately get Carey back within range of goal. That 30-metre mark out from goal, and then he gets one out. They do it every time under pressure because they know that the big fellow will rise to the occasion.
Mac, he's kicked 4 goals today, and in his last 7 matches, he's kicked 4 goals on 5 occasions, Carey. So he is a great goal-kicking centre-half forward, full forward. Russell gets it from Krasiska and kicks to 50. Good mark. Richardson. He's been pretty handy this whole year. I mean, he's really established himself as a genuine week-to-week AFL footballer, and he's had a reasonable match. He kicks to the goal square, no fly from Collingwood. McCartney couldn't hold it. Archer in trouble, gives it to Anthony Rocker. Anthony Rocker to Francis. Snap goal, it's there. Collingwood needed it, they've got it. The goal that they needed so badly to give themselves a chance. 98 to 79.
Yeah, if they can get another one, then all of a sudden the confidence and the belief starts to rise. And, well, it looks as if Richardson's taking the centre bounce tap and then just trying to push forward into that centre half position. They've got Nathan Buckley starting at centre half forward. He's matched up by John Blakey. I'm sure those two have been side by side many a time.
The bounce, as it's done for the best part of the day, going to our right, tied up against Krasiska. Interesting, that last goal, the high ball coming in. Both the rockers there, neither flew.
So it looks like Richardson's going to take the tap. Buckley will start at centre half forward. Then after the bounce, Buckley will go on and act as the ruckman.
Welsh kicking it down towards half forward. In front is Carey. Shawbull did well with the body, leads back in the race, bearing down Abraham. It goes North's way. In the road is Brown. Brown back across the goal face then. Assesses things. Comes very wide. It's a precise kick. Krasiska offered, ran hard, presented himself, gets it to Crow. Crow boots it up towards the wing. It needs a contest from Wild, but King in the road. King on the wing. Thinks about the hand pass. Now goes with the boot. Gets it to Longmire. He's about 75 metres from goal. Carey goes deep. The kick goes in that direction. Carey stays off the pack initially. Launched himself off hands. Fell back into the pack. Godden's there. Whistle and a ball up about 40 metres out from North's attacking goal.
Fair bit of understanding between John Longmire and Wayne Carey. We saw Carey set one up for Longmire in the third quarter, and this was just a dead set setup for Carey to take a hanger.
Knocked towards goal by Hewitt. Going back is Patterson. Plays it pretty well. Knocks it across the boundary line.
Good setup there by North Melbourne. They pushed everybody from that ruck contest forward into the middle of the ground or in front of the ruckman. Had all the space. It was a good tap, but unfortunately for them, Shannon Grant just couldn't quite get there in front.
Crocker. He's just missed by the look of it. High ball, the snap behind. So Crocker's been good. That's Dennis Pagan to be very happy with Crocker, and I think Roberts too, particularly early. 15-9 to 11-13. Plenty of footy in this match left. 20 points of difference. Collingwood all day have shown that they've got a chance. They started brilliantly, didn't convert, but certainly had a big crack in the third quarter where they actually looked to be well on top. Now, is that coming? What's happening, John?
Well, they're starting it all again. Right. I think it's probably because Krasiska shepherded Abrahams, and Abrahams asking why he didn't get the free kick.
Is that a fair question or not?
Well, look, he shouldn't be there to shepherd, but I'd say Hayden Kennedy was just clearing the protected area a little bit late. But
but Russell played on, John.
Yeah, but he can't shepherd though, Dip. He can't be there to protect him.
Richardson, good mark. Dangerous kick, though. Pickett did well. Belted it to the centre. This is an important ball. Blakey trapped it and then takes Shawwell on with a bounce. Now the goal square's vacant. He'll kick it as hard as he can. Crocker and Brown, and it's out of play.
So why is it against Krasiska?
No, Dipper, the reason he can't shepherd is because a North Melbourne player isn't.
Can we just have a look at this one, John? Just North Melbourne have cleared the zone, and then Hewitt's been told to just punch it towards the goal square. Grant was the one who was instructed, obviously, to run onto the ball, but just didn't have the pace to clear the other Collingwood players.
Hewitt at the back. We haven't forgotten you, John or Dip. We'll get back eventually. Carey. Welsh tried a little one. Taken by Wright. Kept in play by Stevens. Clever. Could kick a goal here. Comes back. Just misses. He played it very well and missed the goal. So Crocker and Stevens have missed a couple that were... They would have been good, but they were gettable and probably would have put Collingwood away. John, just finally, there's a interchange for Collingwood, just finally on that matter. Just
no players allowed in the protected area, so it would be unfair to allow a teammate of the player with the ball to shepherd. So the umpire clears the area completely and tells him to kick it again.
Poor kick coming in from Buckley. Another chance for North Melbourne. Down goes Chandler. In there is Wright, taken front on. Body slam by Bell. Godden has it now, kicks it out towards the wing. Collingwood needed to run out. It tries to get away from Abraham. He reels it in. Winston on the wing. We've seen flashes of magic this afternoon. Abraham cuts infield, ran about 25. Probing kick, they contest about 20 metres out. Off hands, Crocker. He snaps and pulls it back too far. 22 points. The margin now.
Mark Roberts coming onto the ground and Evan Hewitt off.
Buckley, 14 possessions this afternoon. I suppose assessing the best players on the ground, John Blakey with 12 mightn't jump up, but has to be considered. In the outcome of this game, he's been very influential. Here's Patterson.
Back pocket in Collingwood. 79 to 101. No, the one thing in their favour is that North's had a chance to slam the door, and they haven't done it in the last 5 minutes. Osborne's got it. He'll kick to Crow at centre wing. Abraham will fancy himself here. Well marked Crow. A beautiful mark. And then quickly plays on Crocker. Didn't quite get a finger to it. Brown will come around and deliver to Wild. Collingwood building up here now. Will Wild take King on? He's a hard man. He doesn't. Decides not to. Belts to Rocker at full forward. Comes to ground. Francis was unlucky. Stevens went without it. Pickett gets back. Archer over the top. Pickett playing in front. Back to Stevens off the side of the boot, out of play. North just for a moment got a bit panicky at the back, didn't they? 101 to 79.
It was interesting to see where Tony Francis ran to that pack contest. He was just at the side and the ball went front and square.
McCartney front spot. Anthony Rocker belts it back, but North will be happy if that happens for the next 5 minutes. That went out. It did now. Russell wants a free kick. He's going to get it.
Yep.
High against Chandler.
Yes.
So they got a free kick, the Maggies.
You see the ball certainly out of bounds, but a slap in the face for Scotty Russell, and so the free kick is paid even though the ball is out.
Front of the square, big fly, well done Archer that time against Sav Rocker. Building it through, 4 behind. Collingwood, Tony Shaw, frustrated. 15-11 to 11-13. And back to 22 points.
Sav Rocker looks like he may be coming off the ground. Or, no, I think he was just taking his spot in the zone defence.
King got it to Roberts, to Harvey. Back it comes to Scholl on the burst. Scholl down towards half forward. Coming across and showing great courage was Welsh. Welsh plays on. Grant has to wait. He's about 60 metres from goal. He's normally a long kick, and this is a beauty. The backbreaker. Shannon Grant from long range.
Bruce, is he the best left foot kick in the competition?
Let me have a think. Gee, that's a good one. That was absolutely clinical in the end, wasn't it? Welsh is good. There's a bit of Michael Simons about him, isn't it?
He's a talented player because he marks like a tall, but he's also good on the ground.
The key there was that Carey said to Grant, kick for goal. They know how good he is on the left. You reckon that box wouldn't be quite as hot as it was, say, halfway through the first quarter? 58,369, the official attendance. It actually looks more here. A very healthy turn up. Buckley's got it, needs a goal. It's going to go. It's going to go through. They refuse to lie down. And so they should refuse. There's so much at stake here. This is a big footy match, and there's a lot of footy to be played. And Collingwood, twice in this last quarter, through Francis and now Buckley, have been able to manufacture goals and keep themselves, well, within some sort of a touch.
What about Buckley at centre-half forward, Peter? Would you like to see him stay there or push into the midfield after the bounces?
I actually think they've lacked a lot at centre-half forward today. I think it's a good move because Blakey really had him covered in the centre bounce, and he's with his goal-kicking power, Gerard, he's always dangerous up forward.
Just when it seemed the Magpies had Buckley's, they come forward again. The hand pass comes across, taken by Godden. He got it from Francis. High ball. It needs a contest from Collingwood. On the ground, it bounced off the chest of Scholl. The bodies go in willingly. Down goes Archer. Tries to reel it in. It spills wide eventually. This is King in characteristic fashion. Boots it back towards half-back. Hitting the ball hard is Godden. Stevens almost had him. Godden stretching every sinew. Hand passes inside the 50. In goes Wild. Had it knocked away. Stevens picks it up coyly after it crossed the line. King slow to get up. Longmire is coming off. Hewitt is coming on.
King looks sore too as we see him run away there. Boundary throwing up high was Kinnear. Back to Buckley. Collingwood get it to within 20 metres. Mark needed. One hand not quite there for Wild. Comes back to Williams. Williams a little one. Back to Rocker. Back to Williams. Let's see if he can kick one here. No. Across the face. Still only 10 metres out. Mark to Watson. It's been interesting. Pickett's had a fantastic match and we have sung his praises, and I, for one, have really admired what he's done, but Watson's kicked a goal in every quarter of this match. It's been a pretty decent duel, hasn't it?
It's been a good contest. This was an interesting shot. I'm not sure if it was a shot or goal or trying to centre it. Elementary there from Watson, but I thought that Anthony Rocker could well have got a free kick.
I say a goal in every quarter. He does have to convert.
Doesn't let you down.
Well, Dennis, I was with you all the way, the backbreaker, but they won't lie down. This is still a game of footy because I don't know if North, they've had a chance to close them, didn't they, with those 3 or 4 points, and they haven't done it.
Makes this centre bounce crucial, doesn't it? If Collingwood can get it out of the middle and manufacture a goal, well, then all of a sudden she's a very tight finish to this pretty competitive match here at the G.
North still favoured. They lead by 15 points, but momentum shifting slightly now. Collingwood, the last couple of goals taken high was Chandler. He'll get the free kick alongside the centre circle. Chandler feeds it off. Roberts. The Magpies need to hold here. High ball coming in. The skipper dropped it. Crocker picks it up and kicks a goal. That says it all. Darren Crocker has kicked his third. North Melbourne 17-11 now.
Well, when you play in the last line of defence, any mistake you make is, I guess, emphasised because often somebody mops it up and kicks an easy goal. And, well, Gavin Brown, we don't have to sing his praises. He's been one of the greats of this era of Collingwood, but he hasn't had a big one today.
Roberts to Crocker, the goal. The 2 men that have come into the team, the 2 premiership players that have come into the team for North Melbourne today. Buckley kept it in. I think the ball bounced before. I think that's pretty obvious, and it'll be a ball up at centre half forward. 113 to 92. Just tantalisingly out of Collingwood's reach, you'd reckon, as a lot of the second half has been, really, after North made its big move in the second quarter. But a free kick here.
Shepherd paid to Collingwood to Richardson. Richardson wasn't able to get to that contest, and Hayden Kennedy has signalled that he was shepherded.
He's doing very well, Richardson.
Yep. Both forward and in the ruck, and Dennis, is exactly where he kicked that goal against the flow, isn't it, in the second quarter?
There's Hewitt. Oh, no, Stevens has made sure Richardson can't get anywhere near it, so I'm comfortable with that.
If he doesn't get the distance, there has to be a rocker up. 3 high balls in recently, no rocker up.
So Richardson from about 55. It's a big, long kick. And behind. So Richardson a point. He's had 1-2, I think, today. 17-11 to 13 goals, 15. King to himself and then gets it out of the danger zone. McCartney, that's a good mark. Solid mark at halfback. Gives it off to Scholl. Liked his game. Slow first quarter, but then really has gone on with it. Not a good kick. It was too far for Hewitt. And have a look at Richardson, Dennis. One end to the other and takes the mark. Yeah,
he's the man. He chips it towards the wing. Used it well. Krasiska. Richardson maligned for a long time at Collingwood, but in the last year and a half, he really has matured. Anthony Rocker is up. Couldn't hang on. Russell lost his footing as McCartney cannoned into his legs, and they tie it up just inside the centre square. The margin is 20 points. 9.5 minutes to go.
See the goal umpire with the black armband on, and also in the middle of the ground, Darren McCauley has also got a black armband on. So the umpires are obviously paying their respects to one of their own.
Grant trying to go through the pack. Russell taken front on by Chandler. Another ball up. The clock continues to run. And that's an enemy now of Collingwood. They need a takeaway. They need some goals quickly. Roberts in front. Reaching over the top was Rocker. Could have taken him high too. Welsh thumps at Goldwood. Worked out of it Krasiska. Hewitt half blanketed off the boot. It wanders inside the 50. Schauble leads in the race. Winston applied a pretty good tackle under the circumstances. Almost handed across to Godden. Godden to Francis. Francis away around the outer side. Looks towards the umpire. Not sure what he's worried about. Kicks it inside the 50. Down towards Scholl. Richardson outmarked by McCartney coming back. Good grab.
Francis was waiting for the umpire to blow the whistle for the throw.
He's an honest man.
There might have been another one after the throw that he expected to be paid that wasn't paid too, Jared, I think.
He's very gun-shy of the umpires now, Tony.
Little kick to Stevens. Yes, Kinnear threw that ball in that passage. Roberts looked as if he was off. He was, and then has to give it back, but they should be all right north. Stevens with some time. He's at 50. That's the defensive 50, and he belts it as far as he can to centre wing. Good take by Welsh. Well, not paid. I thought he marked the Chandler to Blakey. Well, this is Grant. Take two. Take two for Grant. Not such a good kick, but the same result. That is, again, the backbreaker.
Been a bad quarter for backs, but Shannon Grant certainly has applied
good for business.
Certainly, yeah, lots of physios around the town will be very pleased with this. But Shannon Grant, he's had a pretty quiet day, but he's that sort of player. If you can just get him on the end of a few handballs within range of goals, he can really hurt you. And there he is, patrolling the corridor. Doesn't drop it all that well, but did enough to get it through for his second this quarter.
Shannon Grant, just 9 possessions, but a couple of key ones in this final term. 2 goals from long range. Certainly the first prettier than the second. Rock's hand pass intercepted by Williams. Williams down towards the attacking 50. Pickett went to ground. Richardson out to Buckley. He's about 65 metres from goal. Sends it high down towards full forward. Rocker and Archer wins the battle.
Well, Glenn Archer just perfect defence there. Took the run of Sav Rocker, so he wasn't able to leap over the top.
Wright working hard, sensing the danger, knocking it away from Rock. Boundary throw in. It is very gloomy at the MCG. Despite the pull of Dipper and Peter McKenna, the lights still aren't on.
Very dark out here, Dennis, and terrific coaching by Pagan. Rocker was the danger player, and then putting Archer on him was terrific.
Williams hooking. So he's been off target today, Paul Williams.
Peter McKenna, you still got the record against North Melbourne with 11 goals, 1972.
I was hoping someone would bring that up, Dipper. Good boy. But getting back to Dennis Pagan, he saw in that third term when Martin went off that the big danger was going to be Rocker, and he's been taken right out of the game by Archer. He went for his big gun, took him off Anthony and put him on Sav.
Good call, Pete. 10th possession now for Grant. Got it from King and kicks to centre wing. Nice take by Hewitt.
But strong, safe hands, Evan Hewitt.
North's marking has really been a feature, I think, of their strength today. Around the ground, Scholl's taken some good ones. We've seen Arch and McCartney, who's not the safest mark in the world, take a couple of good ones in the last quarter. Kick towards Grant. Shawble at the back, pushing forward. Collingwood have really just got to attack here and try like crazy. Chandler clever. Carey's first real touch in the last quarter. He could go for it here. He's missed it. It's a behind. He was in two minds. Was on the left and then straightened on the right. So a point there to Carey. And North, well, they look safe, don't they? There's Longmire, 6.5 minutes to go, and they're getting it out to about 5 goals. Buckley to bring it back in. 18-12 to 13-16.
Here's Crowe on the end of the kick in, close to the boundary line. Chips it up towards the wing. Anthony Rocker on his chest. Ironical cheers. He plays on. Inside the 50, Richardson launches himself over the top. Pickett got a fist on it. Stevens couldn't control the crumbs. It comes across towards Roberts. Took an eternity to pick it up. Chandler sidesteps nicely. Puts it along the ground towards the boundary. Neither player really wants that one. It would have been difficult to do anything with. And a boundary throw in. I suppose it begs the question now, what does the future hold for Damien Monkhorst, who started so well today, but certainly Tony Shaw has been unprepared to play that card. Over the top, Roberts. This is Williams, close to the line. A little chip, needed to be precise, and it was. Watson has booted 4. A couple of them have been long kicks. This would really test him. Long kick, sharp angle. The Magpies down by 26 points.
In bygone days, he'd be right in the middle of the practice wickets, but thank goodness they're gone from the ground.
Got to say, from our vantage point, can't see him. There goes the long kick. It slides across the face. Rocker was up. Almost controlled it. Spilled from his fingers and through for a minor score. And Watson realizing the moment is lost. We're down to 5:20 now. And there's Monkey on the boundary. Just had the feeling in recent weeks he hasn't been happy with his playing time. And I think more could come from this today.
King into the centre. Rock pushes the ball wide in the direction of Blakey. Buckley with him. Blakey. Still Blakey. Buckley hassling him towards the line. Blakey's pretty happy, I think. He's had a good match. As Dennis said, he might not get 3-2-1 from the scribes or the umpires today, but it's been a huge effort. Buckley's had a fair bit of the ball in the end, but a lot of it has been inconsequential, really. Certainly tried his hardest, Buckley, but Blakey's done the job. Hewitt down to Krasiska. Krasiska's kicked back to centre wing. It is so, you can't see it on your monitor, but it's unbelievably dark here. King got it from Roberts. King's handball to Bell. Bell finding a way and getting some space now, and then kicking the ball to about 50. He wants Crocker. Crocker's been excellent. Rock didn't quite get it. Now goes to ground. Gets up on hands and knees. Handballs to right. I think he did that on purpose too. Can't blame them if they're getting mixed up now, because it's very hard to see. Bell missed it. Welsh, Crowe. Crowe's handball to Williams. Collingwood have got a goal every time they go forward now. They must get a goal every time. Davide Hope. Watson. There's an injury in the box there to North Melbourne to Crocker. Let's hope he's all right. Sav's got it. He's a bit proppy too. Crocker, knowing his history, let's hope he's all right. He's had so many injuries over a long period of time. He's one of the most fragile players probably ever. Fragile good ones. Peter McKenna.
Yes, that was a lovely mark, Bruce. But getting back to Anthony Rocker, Tony Shaw has been criticised a lot this year for taking him on and off the ground and taking him off too quickly. I reckon he's bitten the bullet today and said, right, I'm going to give you a full game and see if you can produce. He's put him in that forward pocket, and unfortunately Anthony hasn't had a good game.
Thanks, Peter. Darren Crocker coming from the ground. Well, he's got to kick this, Sav. Must goal here. And Rocker's long one there has missed, so Maggie's just can't do it now. That's how Crocker hurt himself.
Friendly fire, collides with a teammate.
Yeah, Evan Hewitt.
Yep. So Crocker off the ground. Hopefully he's going to be all right. As North are away and Harvey's got it.
Harvey, Abraham, kicked a wonderful goal earlier this afternoon. See that replayed a few times during the upcoming months. Kick from Russell, deep into attack, in front Archer. Well, That's too easy. Archer plays on. This is King in the back pocket then. 120 to 96. 3.5 minutes to go. It's all over at the MCG. The kick up towards the wing. Over the top, Hewitt. He was hurt in that collision with Crocker just moments ago. He's making a habit of hurting his teammates. Longmire comes away limping. That was a great mark, though. Here's Harvey. Harvey was lively early when Collingwood were dominating. This is Miles. Miles away forward of the wing, running it down towards half forward. Settles. High kick. They'll contest about 35 metres out, no contest. Krasiska goes back. Timely mark.
Kicks it wide. Krasiska to right. His old premiership teammate from 1990. A couple of the veterans in the team. Right, bangs it over to Patterson. Patterson at centre wing. Runs away and kicks to centre half forward. Longmire's filled the gap. Big fly by Francis. Longmire got another hand to it. Taken by Tony Francis. A handball cut off by Stevens. Little toe poke. Hewitt couldn't control it. Williams has handball to Brown. Brown 40 metres out. Well done by Miles to push him off. Stevens has got it. Shrugs a tackle. Left foot concedes ground, but a safe enough kick. Archer will probably wobble it out. And he did.
He thought he was out the first time and just took that extra step to make sure.
Just going back to Gavin Krasiska, he's been just about Collingwood's best player today.
Having a good season, isn't he?
He is.
Boundary throw in. Anthony Rocker. Stevens eventually off Kinnear's hand. Kicks it up towards midfield. Grant. Abraham wants to outrun them. Outruns one. Williams bearing down, but Abraham brilliantly done. This is Carey. Carey pulls it back towards the middle. Coming back is Grant. Rock did well trying to protect him there. The hand pass from Welsh to Miles. Miles 25 metres out. The icing on the cake. With a compress on the back.
This is a good finisher, Dion Miles. That's another great little shot at goal. And every North player knew on the ground where this ball was going to head to. Wayne Carey across centre half forward, gets the mark, and then he hits it to that top of the about 40 metres out directly in front. Have a look at the runners. They all go there. Despite the mark not being taken, there's enough players there to mop it up and bang. What a finish.
The kid kicks a goal late in the final term, and North now 5 in front in the dying minute and a half of what's been a good game of footy. Chandler's kick out wide. Watson certainly done his bit. He's had a good season. That's a big long kick to 15 metres. Archer couldn't quite get a crack at it. McCartney. Sav Rocker wants to give it to Anthony. McCartney. Anthony Rocker all over him, and a free kick to McCartney. Alex McDonald. Alex, thanks for your efforts today. Just a disappointing result in the end. You probably deserve better, but you probably lost it in the first quarter when you're on top.
Very true, Bruce. I think against sides like North Melbourne, you've just got to capitalise any opportunities you get, and our poor kicking and a few costly turnovers, silly skill errors and poor decision makings cost us in the end.
How long before you're back, mate?
Hopefully just this week, maybe next week.
Well, we enjoyed your Sports Wars story too with the 3 brothers with Kim Sporting earlier this year. Good luck, mate, for the rest of the year.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
And Watson's got it. Sav a bit wobbly here. And as I said, the pick at Watson, Jules, has been a good one, hasn't it? Very interesting. They've both certainly had some very important moments for their club. And Watson might have kicked he's hit the post. No, he's kicked, he hit the post. So Watson with 4 goals, along with Sav Rocker, the big goal scorers for Collingwood today. But Dennis, in the end, this is probably about where these two clubs are at right now. North probably about a top 6 team, and Collingwood just on the edges of that 8.
I think you're right. They'll fall to 5 and 6. North Melbourne will improve to 7 and 4. It was Longmire. But North quite a way away from being a complete team at the moment. Longmire kicking it up towards the wing. This young man continues to improve. I know Gerard likes him. He's going to be a good player. Didn't play a lot of football in Western Australia. It's a bit of a gamble in the draft. Hewitt kicks it out wide. Grant gives it across to Stevens, and there's the siren. Well, they were challenged a few times this afternoon, North Melbourne, but eventually they have prevailed.